Welcome to number 33 of our fundamental supersize business strategies. Today's strategy is the volunteer strategy. And although I don't think a lot of people talk about this, I think many organizations do it. The vast majority of them do not. They do not volunteer. They're not involved in their community, and they do not help out. They're too busy trying to make money, trying to build their business, trying to grow, and they forget that part of the way that we grow is by being involved in the communities that we live and work in. I learned this strategy and this lesson pretty early on in my life, both from my parents as well as from my first job in corporate America after graduating from college was making toilet paper at Procter & Gamble. I know, illustrious beginning to my career. And that never stopped from that point on. I always joke about that. Well, one of the experiences I had there, P&G was a great company for training and development and things like that, personal development. I think that helped to contribute to my belief in my lifelong learning core value, because I was afforded the opportunity after graduating from college to get a lot of advanced training, personal development training, leadership training, and things that a lot of organizations, had I selected to work for them instead of P&G, I might not have had those opportunities. And one of the opportunities and one of the things that they encouraged was to be involved in the communities. Back then, I think they had 80,000 employees. And so they could make a huge impact by people being involved in the local communities where the organization worked. It was a really smart business strategy back then, and it still is today, encouraging your people to volunteer, to give back to the communities that you operate in, and to make the world a better place. So one of the things, and I still remember this because I did it for 5 years there, and we would sponsor, Green Bay, Wisconsin is the plant that I worked at first. And in Green Bay, there's this little old-fashioned village. Some towns in the Midwest and some towns throughout the United States have these old-fashioned type, they're not parks, but they're like historic buildings and things that represent the community and what the community looked like, a century ago or so. And they had one of these in that town. It was a park, and they still do. I'm saying they still do have it. But one of the things that they did was they'd opened it up on Halloween for kids to come and trick or treat there. So the different buildings there were sponsored by different businesses and different corporations, or different groups would sponsor a building. They decorated up for Halloween, and then the kids would come and trick or treat around there. So every year we had a different theme. It was super fun to participate in and take a leadership role in actually planning and leading and acquiring all the things and materials that we need, and then the decorating and things. It ended up being a weeks long project leading up to this one night event, which was always a blast. And we, Procter & Gamble, from before I joined the organization, and I'm sure maybe even still today they do it, I don't know. That was a long, long time ago, back in 1985, 86, 87, in the late 80s into the early 90s. But we would decorate this barn. We usually decorated it like a haunted house, but sometimes it was pretty much always some kind of a haunted house. I remember one year, several of us it was cold, and we all were dressed up like witches, and it was just fun every year to decorate and dress up and engage with the kids and the people in the community. But there's all different ways to volunteer. And by participating in the community, not only does it make our business stand out, it gets us in touch with our customers on a very real basis. One of the things I liked to do in my food business, I had a Italian food manufacturing business for 35 years. And one of the things I would personally do was go out and do store demos. And people are like, why are you out here doing store demos? Because the customers, just like anybody else we interact with, if we ask them questions, if we interact with them, if we listen to the answers, they will tell us everything we need to know to serve them better and to do a better job of running and growing and building and supersizing our business. So volunteering actually gets people at different levels in the organization involved with the community on a level that you can't do when people are calling into customer service or quality because they've got a complaint, right? Totally different experience, totally different perspective. Instead of looking for solutions to problems, we're looking ahead to the future in order to figure out how we can serve people better. So there's a lot of levels of volunteering that have a positive impact on our business and us personally, that it's almost impossible to measure because it's so profound. I have found that whenever I volunteer or help out with anything, I always gain way more than the people that I'm helping. And that's why I think you can share and you can give and you can realize that the world is infinite. The possibilities are infinite. So we're not making less of ourselves by giving information or knowledge or wisdom or our time and energy and expertise away. We're actually just contributing in a positive way to make the world a better place. Okay, I'm now off on a tangent, but there's lots of different ways to you personally volunteer. I don't know very many CEOs that personally volunteer anymore, which makes me kind of sad because I think they're missing out. But I do know some. But there's community. I think I've done all of these too, which is really interesting. There's community cleanups. There are mentoring youth, big brothers, big sisters. I highly recommend. I don't know how it is now, but I know my experience with the organization was excellent. I had an amazing little girl for 5+ years until I left Green Bay and had kids of my own. You can help at shelters. You can help at food shelves. You can help to fundraise for any type of project you can imagine. And like I said, you get as much out of it as you put into it. I say that about everything, by the way. Don't know if anyone's noticed. But curious, share in the comments below. Do you volunteer? Do you encourage the people in your organization to volunteer and be involved in the community? And then just share something about that you have liked or not liked so that we can learn from one another. That's all I've got. It's a Sunday. I'm going to cut it short today. If I can help you in any way, ask, curious if you've used this strategy or if you're thinking about using it. Share in the comments below. Have an awesome day. I'll, of course, see you tomorrow.